everyone, Linda here. I'm in an artist trading card swap over at Crafters Digital Art Center, and I want to show you what I'm working on. First thing I did is I took a sheet and printed out a digi image that is by Ariel over at Wax Fruit, and it just looks like this, and then I use my Photoshop and put a text box and put this little quote from Albert Camus that says, "Autumn is a second spring when every leaf's a flower." The next thing I did is I took my hot glue gun and I went over all the image with the hot glue gun. It was a technique I was watching over at Tim Coffey's YouTube channel. The next thing I did, in some of them, I used this acrylic pearl finish paint and painted over it, and then use my Copic markers. I used 3 different colors, Y13, YR04, and E31 to color them. This one I didn't use the paint on, but this one I did. Then I took a stamp from a Stampin' Up set called Autumn Leaves, and I used Tim Holtz Distress Ink, mustard seed, spice marmalade, and fried brick. The next thing I did is I took some Tim Coffey paper. I love this paper, and I printed my information on it. When I was just experimenting, trying to see what I wanted to do, I made a trading card and I printed this on white, and I just really didn't like the way it stood out. So I was talking with my son, and he suggested that I print it right on the paper, and I really think that turned out very nice. So let's get started here. What I did is I took a piece of cardboard, kind of a thick piece that I had, and I put a piece of Tim Coffey paper on the back, taped it on. Then I took my image and I made it 3.5 inches by 2.5, because that's what an artist trading card is, and I punched some holes in it and put some brads in it. Then I stuck a piece of the seam binding that I made through there. Then what I'm going to do is attach that to the front. I think I'm going to use this ATG gun because it's a lot stickier. So I want to really get this close to the edge. So I'm going to go around the sides like this, and then I'll go down the middle. So I really want this to be very sticky. I could use a glue, but I like this ATG. So I'm going to stick this on here. I'll line it up as best I can. Get it nice and flat. And then I'm going to take off all the tape that's on the edge. And that's what I like about this particular ATG tape, is that it just rolls right off. And it's still very, very sticky. So I want to roll that off. Then what I'm going to do is round the corners with a corner chomper, and I'm going to use the 1/4 inch side. And then I'm going to take my sander and sand all the edges really, really good. So the sanding just makes it like all one, blends the paper right into the cardboard, and I like that. See, this is the scratchy side. And it also gets off all that extra glue. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Then I need to put my information on the back, and I want to cut this out of here, and I'm going to cut it just inside the black line because I know that that fits. I was really surprised how nice that printed on that paper. I think I'll put it right about there. I need to trim it off just a little bit more on this side. And this is all the information for the swap, the name of the group leader, my name, my blog, my email address, the month, and this is the fall swap, and I'm in a swap for spring too, so I'll be making another one. Alright, so the very last thing I'm going to do is tie this bow, so that's why that's just sitting like that. I'm going to take some antique linen, I think, no, vintage photo, and I think I have these mixed up. I do. Vintage photo, and go around the edge here. I kind of got to be careful because where I paint it, the ink doesn't pick up the same as it does where it isn't painted. Then I'm going to take some antique linen, and then I'm just going to dab that around. And I don't want to press too hard because it could smear the print that's down here at the bottom. So I'm going to just do this a little bit around here just to get it to look a little vintage or older, because that's just the kind of stuff I really, really like. Then I'm going to do the same on the back with the vintage photo. And see, that white part just gets nice and dark, and that looks perfect. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this, take some of this Viva Decor Pearl pen, and I'm going to add some little seeds on here with it. And this is really cool. It just comes out, and when you pick it up, it just makes like putting little pearls, but it's almost like a glue because it just sticks on there. I really like this stuff, and depending on how long you squeeze it is how big it is. So you can make them bigger and smaller. And I'm just going to fill this in with these so it looks like the seeds on the sunflower. So here I've put the little seeds on with the Viva Decor pen. The next thing I need to do is tie a bow, and after I tie the bow, I'm going to put a button on the bow because that is part of the fall requirements, is to include, well, I'm going to include 5 buttons with each one of these cards, but I thought I should add a button to the card. So this is what the card's going to look like, my artist trading card. They're a lot of fun, and we're still looking for people to join in the challenge over at Crafters Digital Art Center. So if you are thinking about it, head on over there and sign up because it's a lot of fun. I'm in the fall challenge and the spring challenge. Hope to see you there. Thanks for stopping. Bye bye.